What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Zcash today, ZEC USD. It is the third day of December. Here we are at about $337 with a low this week at $301. We hit that low today, actually. And where we are, as far as price goes, is actually a good area to find support. Now, I'm not saying that Zcash is done moving down. I'm not saying that we're ready to skyrocket through the roof now. We did hit a low of $301, and the 236 is technically at $300, so we did just miss this red line. But this is a perfectly acceptable area to find support. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I'm seeing a lot of posts like this. Rip FOMO buyers as always. Where let's see, is this? That's Bitcoin, so not that. The lesson in this cycle is don't believe in narratives ever talking about Zcash. This is the Zcash price. A lot of people are crapping on Zcash today because it's down so much from its high. From a high to a low, we're down about 60%. For those of you that don't know, a 30 to 60% correction is pretty damn typical. It's actually pretty damn, like, imagine you have a move like this that goes from the low all the way up here and beyond, right? We're going to like several thousands of dollars. Yeah, those moves along the way, they have 30 to 60% corrections. They do. It's very common, actually. Here, for example, from a high to a low, we saw a 53% correction before we pushed higher. Here, along the way, you saw multiple corrections that were 40, that was a 46% correction or more. 30 to 60% corrections are very common. They're very, very common. We saw probably a 60% correction there before you actually moved up higher, right? So it's actually very common. And the 236 to bounce, I'm actually kind of curious. Let's see. Where did you go last? Not last cycle, but 2 cycles ago. You went to your 382. Now that's a lot more common. It doesn't mean you can't find support at the 236, but that's good to reference nonetheless. What about this cycle? What about this one? Well, that's not what I meant to do. Take the low to the high. You went down to your 382 again, actually, right there. Here, you found support directly at your 236, directly at it, and then boom, then you rallied, right? Here, you found support back at your 0.5, you started finding resistance at your 236, came down, now we're all the way over here. From a low to a high, the 382 is all the way down at $171. So keep in mind, while you are down 60% from the high to the low already, you could drop more. You could drop another, what would that be, like another 60% from here, from the current price? Oh, okay, that's what's going on with TradingView. TradingView's glitching out, man. It's bugging out on me here. That's another 50% drop. Oh, I could have just done that math. 170, 340, duh. But it is important to keep in mind that we still can find support here. Even though in Zcash's history you have typically gone back to the 382, you very well could find support here. Or, maybe you do both. Maybe you find support here and you still come down lower. I mean, everybody's ragging on Zcash right now. I'm kind of curious. I wonder what the liquidation levels look like. We'll pull up Zcash here. Over the past 30 days, sure. Shorts are dominant, but that's to be expected over the past day. Longs are dominant. Oh, that's interesting. People are actually longing it here. 7 days over the past week, pretty even. Interesting. It's not what I thought it would have been. I would have thought it would be more short dominant, which again might give reason to believe that we do go lower. Let's look at the short-term indicators. Let's stop talking so much. Let's actually do some TA here. But just something to mention is we really could be finding support. This could have been the low today, and you could move up as high as, from here, $570 and still not go above this high and still go lower. The process that we're in right now, let's even pretend, let's do it even better. Let's say this was the low. Let's say this is from your high to your low. Let's say that was it. You pumped all this time, all these months, and you got 3 weeks of downside, and that was it. That was your low. You're still not going to rally to new highs. You're still going to consolidate for probably a month or two or more, and then move higher. Right? We go back in last cycle. You found your low. You got down to your low of the move 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks here, but you still moved sideways. You actually even moved lower, and then you moved up, right? And even once you found your low, you weren't off to the races immediately. Even once you broke out here, you weren't off to the races immediately. It was a stair step. It was a battle. Up here, you found your low in the first 4 weeks, but did you move up to new highs immediately? No, you consolidated. There was some volatility. So Even if you're at your low here, you likely consolidate and see some volatility. Even if you're not at your low, you likely see some volatility and you could still push lower. At this point, I'm not really convinced either way. I would say, if I had to guess, I'm 60-40. 40% saying that this is the low, 60% saying that the low is down here, but 40% that this is the low is still pretty good. And if that's not the low, maybe very, very close to it. Maybe we do go right to 300 or just below 300. If you go too much below 300, we very likely do go to 170. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. Looking at this on the 1 hour time frame here, let's just zoom way the hell in now. We do have some bullish momentum building in our RSI. Things are turning around a little bit. Let's look at you on Coinbase with some volume here. Yeah, we got some volume coming in. Nice. Oh yeah. Oh, look at the lack. Look at the total absence of volume that you've had over here for the past week and a half. And now it's all coming in down here. You got a lot of volume at the lows. There's probably some buying pressure going on. Stochastics look good, and the MACD is about to cross above the zero. Yeah, I think we do get a pop here. I would not be surprised in the least if Zcash was one of the top performing coins tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised in the least, because everybody's talking smack. People they weren't talking smack about it here. There was some smack talk. There were some people talking smack about it all the way throughout here, but they're all talking about it here. They're all very loud here. And just look at the absolute lack in volume, total just missing piece of volume, and now it's all down here at the lows. Yeah, there's some buying going on. You're going to revert back to the mean. That doesn't mean that we go all the way up to 600 new highs, any of that. That just means we probably go back somewhere standard, which, you know, prior areas of support for resistance, pretty damn standard. Something around $437. I could see that. A $100 move from here, I could see that happening. And it'll probably happen very quick. With these recovery rallies, look at how it's been so far. These are very short-lived but extreme. They're very fast, and then the process to give it back is very slow. So what that is it's a hook. It's a hook. That's why they call it a trap. It's a hook. Okay? Notice here, when you actually push to your highs, when you're actually striving, look at how slow and methodical it was. But notice here how much faster it was. The fact that it was faster here, faster movements, that traps people. That makes you FOMO. Oh, it's moving so fast. It's going to continue moving fast. Here it's moving slow. I don't know. Maybe it'll give back and it's just slowly inching away from you. Where here it's like, oh my God, it's moving so fast. Same thing here. Whenever you move up 12% in a day, whenever you bounce here 13% in a day, that makes people think, oh my God, I forgot how fast this thing can move. It's going to go up higher. Who cares that I'm buying 13% higher? It can go back down, but it'll probably come back up in a matter of no time. You say that there at the top, but man, shortly thereafter, we actually moved down. I wouldn't be surprised in the least. All I'm trying to say is we got a big move up. When I say big move, I mean like in one day, maybe two. Not necessarily from this day, but just when it starts to move in a day, it will be up around this area of around like $440. Maybe higher. Maybe higher from a high to a low. That 382 right there is at 424. It's pretty common to wick just above there. 440 would be right there, man. I mean, prior support becomes resistance. It's very common to wick just above the 382, but if we press beyond that, let's imagine this is our low. We start to form some positive structure. Maybe we do go as high as 524, 560, something like that. I wouldn't be impressed until we're above 560 personally. Any price below 560 is not impressive and is likely a lower low that will send us to lower lows, or lower highs that will send us to lower lows. It is completely possible that this is the low. It is completely possible that if it's not the low, that the low is just below it. It's right here. It's also very possible that we do go dramatically lower and probably even below $200. Okay. So just be aware of all those outcomes. 4 hour time frame, looking at this here, you do have some bullish divergence on the RSI. All right, nice. Bullish divergence on the stochastics and bullish divergence on the MACD. All of that's kind of played out already, but I still think that we move higher. I think that we have a move up. Daily time frame, bouncing off the oversold zone, nice. Stochastics are oversold, crossed up, probably wants to come up. And the MACD is right at the zero. So even if we do push higher, what I'm seeing on the charts, what I'm seeing in these indicators, and I mean just even here, look, you're finding support at prior resistance here. We're really at a good area across the board with various indicators and just our eyeballs. We're at a very good price to find support. So we probably do. The minimum expectation would be, again, that we go to like 440, 420, somewhere around there. $420 to $440. Maximum expectation would be $560. If we get above 560, maybe we can talk about moving up a little bit higher, but we're still probably not going to take out this high. Or if we do take out this high, that might be the actual high, and then we actually start the move down. Maybe we go to that $877 to $930 range after all, and then we come down. But that'd be some wicked volatility. I don't expect that to happen. I think that's the least likely outcome, but it can happen. Most likely, we probably stop around 560 to 420, somewhere in there, find resistance, pull back lower. Now that everybody is talking smack about about Zcash, everybody was afraid to talk smack about it here, but now that it's seen its drop, now they're kicking you while you're down. That's typically the time whenever we start to move up. So the people who are being mocked can mock the people who are mocking, and then they will get mocked more. Anyways, I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you liked the video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe, take care of yourselves, all right? I very much do believe Zcash will come back. And then again, there was somebody else that said something on X.com. I forget what it was, but they were basically saying how many people care about privacy coins now. And that's exactly what I was saying here. Like throughout this whole pump, people are saying it's the privacy narrative. That's why it's pumped, because it's such a great privacy coin. I was like, no, it's not. No, if you guys actually cared about privacy coins, you'd be talking about Xano and XMR, Monero. But nobody talks about Xano or Monero, right? It's not about privacy coins. If it's a privacy coin pump, the two best privacy coins in the space, Monero and Xano, they would be the talk of the town, not Zcash. Zcash is like third rate, not even second rate compared to those cryptos, genuinely. It was never about privacy. It was always about the pump. That's all it is, right? If you don't believe me now, or if you didn't believe me then, you might believe me now, right? Because now that the narrative is not pumping the price up, oh, it really is that all you cared about was the price. If you bought Zcash at all because you believed in the privacy narrative, you believed in that narrative, and now you're freaking out and you're thinking you made the wrong decision, you want to sell, understand that you really only bought because of the price. You were only confident because the price moved up. Now it makes sense that you're losing confidence because the price is moving down. It's still a privacy coin. It's not a good privacy coin, but it's still a privacy coin. It's still exactly what it is, what it was before, what it is now. Nothing's changed. The only thing that's changed is price. So if you're feeling bearish on Zcash, just understand you are emotional. You bought the narrative, and the narrative doesn't matter. It's not that the narrative doesn't matter. It's just what matters most, I think, is becoming very clear, is the price moving up. That's really what people thought mattered. It wasn't the narrative. If it was the narrative, you wouldn't be seeing all these people freaking out now that Zcash is going down. But it will likely move higher. I do expect Zcash will see 2,000, 5,000, even a $10,000 price by the end of this cycle. Sometime in 2026, we'll see. But I got nothing else for you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe, take care of yourselves. And if you got caught up in the hype, in the mania of Zcash's pump, if you bought the story and you thought that this was going to be life-changing, world-changing, everybody was going to use this, of course, it's the clear answer to how people should spend money, which it's not. There's so many better. Shout out to Bitcoin Cash. There are so many better electronic currencies out there that are usable for peer-to-peer cash that are not Zcash. If you bought that narrative, let this be a lesson that, first off, you should form your own opinions, not other people. Don't let other people form your opinions for you. If you do, at least do some research. Do some research so that you can build some conviction, so that you're not just buying because of the pump. Because if you buy for the pump, as we've discovered, you don't have any conviction at all. You're not going to have any conviction at all. And if you don't have conviction, you're going to panic sell. You're going to panic buy, and you're going to panic sell. Which brings me to the next point. Have conviction, which ties into doing research. If you're going to do research, you'll have conviction on something. If you're going to believe in something that you're investing in for the research that you've done, you're going to believe in it. So it doesn't matter if it goes down. You'll look at that with a smile on your face and be like, I can buy more at cheaper prices. Now when it goes up to the prices I originally forecasted, I'll only have more money. In short, what I'm trying to say here is, if you're going to invest in something, you need a reason to invest in it beyond price goes up. Because that's not enough. If that's all you got, you're going to turn tail as soon as the price goes down. And you're going to make the wrong decisions. You'll sell the lows and you'll buy the highs. You'll get emotional, right? If you want to invest in something, you need more of a reason than price goes up. And I hope everybody who's invested in Zcash over the past, maybe not over the past months, but really over the past 5 weeks, I hope that lesson's been ingrained in your head. Because unfortunately what's happened here is a lot of you tricked yourselves into thinking that you were buying the new narrative, the privacy narrative, all this stuff, when really you were just FOMOing the top. Really what happened was your altcoins look like this over the past couple of months. They look like this. Your altcoins have been doing this over the past 8 weeks, 9 weeks, 10 weeks. This thing has not. The reality is you sold coins that were low for a coin that was high, all because of the price action, not because of the narrative, not because of your conviction, not because of your beliefs, only because you got bored and this was a shiny object in the sky. If you bought Zcash from the week of October 20th and past, just under, well, and maybe not entirely, maybe not everybody. Like if you bought this low, you're at least patient, right? But if you bought these highs, if you bought like above $524, $520, if you bought above there, you were probably emotional. And if you don't think that, you're like, I'm not emotional, I just made a bad decision, you're lying to yourself. And whenever you come to grips with reality, you will become a better trader and investor because of it. Okay. We did not get this perfect. We were bearish here. We said that the high was in. We were bullish here, talking about the price going higher. We got bullish here. We got bearish here. We were still bearish even at this low, but we got bullish right here. So we got bullish in the right time. We were bullish all the way up here. Then we recommended people, and not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but we said it's probably a good time to sell. Here we said it was a good time to buy. Here we said it's not a good time to buy, but it's not a good time to sell. And that one we really got wrong. We should have been advocating for the sell. We advocated a little bit, but we should have advocated a little bit more. And then down here, if anything, we advocated for the buy. We advocated for the buy, and we said tight stop losses if we were to close below there. And, well, if you had tight stop losses right below this low, you shouldn't have gotten that creamed. You should have been okay, and you should be in a position now where you can actually buy back in anticipation of this volatile move where you can make back any money that you've probably lost. And that's where TA helps, right? You don't have to be perfect in order to make money. In fact, you can make money even if you're wrong as long as you do it right. You need proper risk management, but at the end of the day, I don't really know what else to talk about, so I'll end it there. The real reason that I was going over that is because I can just hear people saying, but you were saying it was a good time to buy here. Yes, I was. I was saying that. The same price that I was here. We thought that it'd move up, but we were saying with tight stop losses. Here, we mentioned tight stop losses too, but this time it prevailed. This time it did not, so unfortunately. And we did not advocate. We advocated for selling up here, if anything. We did not advocate for buying up here. So anybody who's been following this channel, even if you've invested in Zcash, you should be properly equipped. You should be in some green. I am. I don't know how anybody would be in the red unless all they did was buy the high and they didn't sell. They didn't have any kind of risk management. By the way, if you're still watching this video, I'm just rambling. If you're still watching this video and you bought up here but you haven't sold Zcash yet, right? It's all the way down here. I don't think it's a good time to sell. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. If I was holding Zcash, even if I bought down here, I don't think it's a good time to sell now. I would wait for some type of reverberation back above $400, $420, $440 or higher. I'd get out there and then I'd wait. But that's just how I would do it. That's not me advocating for anything that you should do. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I'll see you on the next one. Hit the like button, subscribe, take care, bye-bye.